If Kenya today is to be judged by the case of Brian Odhiambo, then Kenya is a rotten society. If our security agencies today were to be judged by how they have treated the case of Brian Odhiambo, then the security agencies are a rotten security agency.
Yes, we have gathered here today to make a statement over issues that have arisen lately concerning Brian Odhiambo. Now, I act for the family of the late Brian Odhiambo, who was allegedly abducted on or about the 18th of January 2025 by individuals believed to be officers attached to the Kenya Wildlife Service within the vicinity of Lake Nakuru National Park. Now, following credible intelligence indicating that Brian may have been secretly buried within the precincts of the park, the Directorate of Criminal Investigations sought and obtained far-reaching court order on Monday from the Chief Magistrate Court at Nakuru, authorizing extensive search and exhumation operation within the park. We are, however, deeply concerned about the pace of implementation. We respectfully urge that the process be expedited. Any further delays risk compromising crucial evidence and may embolden those intent on covering up or interfering with ongoing investigations. The family has already endured prolonged anguish, and justice delayed at this stage is tantamount to justice denied. All we know and have actively participated in so far is the ongoing case in which 6 Kenya Wildlife Service officers stand charged with abduction with intent to confine. It's now beyond peradventure that Brian Odhiambo was murdered. Yet, shockingly, these officers remain in active service, contrary to established public service ethics and disciplinary guidelines. We therefore ask, why have they not been interdicted? Who is protecting them? Are they above the law? We deeply appreciate the Kenya National Commission on Human Rights, that is KNCHR, the constitutional human rights body, for its proactive intervention. We note with gratitude that KNCHR has formally written to the Honorable Attorney General seeking an advisory on the matter of interdiction. We urge the Office of the Honorable Attorney General to issue prompt and clear guidance to the relevant state agencies so that public confidence in the administration of justice is not further eroded. We also extend profound appreciation to civil society organizations and human rights defenders, and of course the Fourth Estate, who have stood firmly with the family in their quest for truth and accountability. Particularly, we acknowledge the dedication and solidarity of Vocal Africa under the leadership of my good brother Hussein Khalid. We acknowledge IMLU. In this course here, they are represented by our brother David Kuria Western. We also appreciate GAPLIC International, represented by my brother here, Tom Mboya. And we also appreciate local human rights defenders in Nakuru. Particularly, we may wish to mention Mr. Masese of CEDGG, and Madam Maimuna of Youth Bilanoma. We further recognize the Law Society of Kenya for its unwavering commitment and instrumental role in ensuring that due process and the rule of law are upheld throughout this matter. Lastly, we note that the Senate was petitioned in May 2025, and we acknowledge their formal response through their referenced letter, Ref, that is Senate 13/4 petitions number 031B of 2025, reflecting parliamentary interest in this matter of national concern. We ask them to expedite their investigations into this matter for the sake of justice and the rule of law in this country. The case of Brian Odhiambo is not merely a private tragedy. It is a test of the nation's moral and institutional resolve to uphold the sanctity of life, the rule of law, and accountability in public service. We therefore call upon the DCI, the ODPP, the KWS, the Honorable Attorney General, and all the relevant arms of government to fully implement the court's far-reaching order with urgency and transparency, interdict the implicated officers without further delay, and see justice done for Brian Odhiambo and his family. This collective effort by the family, human rights bodies, civil society, and the legal fraternity underscores a shared determination that justice for Brian Odhiambo must not only be done, but must be seen to be done. I hear the question asked by my colleague the other side. What actually happened was that upon receipt of credible intelligence, I believe it's very credible, the Directorate of the Criminal Investigations, particularly the Homicide Directorate, moved to court on Monday and obtained an order. And the order was quite extensive. It was quite extensive. It allows for free ingress and egress out of the Lake Nakuru National Park. The purpose of the ingress and egress is that they carry out an extensive search, okay, and possible exhumation of bodies that may be buried at the park. Do not forget that initially I had indicated to you all that Lake Nakuru National Park is actually a crime scene. It could only be equated to Shakahola. And so we are glad that the director of homicide himself, I'm sure he's the same man leading the charge at Shakahola, the same man was here yesterday with a team of experts. They made the first visit. What they made us understand was an administrative visit in pursuit of implementation of the order that they acquired on Monday. May I also say this, that there are elements in this process that are keen to subvert justice. They are keen to frustrate the entire process. Of particular concern is the fact that even when there are express orders, we have to be told that no, someone has to consult above when the orders, court orders, are quite express. May I also say this, that it may not have even been necessary for the DCI to obtain that order, because initially the court had directed, if you would recall, that the DCI would have any support they would require from KWS. And so from where we sit, well, the order was necessary, it was a necessary tool, but even so, there are still, it would appear, there are still attempts to frustrate any investigations into this issue. And you'd ask frustrations from who? I would tell you there are frustrations from KWS themselves. This is right at their doorstep. My view is they would not want anything come out of the process. Unfortunately, like I said before, the wheels of justice, however slow they may move, they'd finally get us to a destination. Now, I also had a question from someone on the other side asking whether this present development has a bearing on the ongoing case. Insofar as we are concerned, investigations are an ongoing process. What the investigative agencies and the body charged with public prosecutions would do with the outcome of the investigations that are to be carried out is squarely their problem. Insofar as we are concerned, this does not stop the ongoing case. I understand we have a date for November. We're still going back there. And so that case is ongoing. Unless the DPP makes a decision concerning that matter, for us, we are ready. The witnesses are ready in that matter. They'll continue testifying. But insofar as the investigations, the current ones are ongoing, we are saying they are welcome. there are better process towards achieving justice for the family and for Brian Odhiambo. I believe I gave an indication. If and when the present investigations are concluded, we would love to see what the ODPP would do with the investigations. Okay? If they will, for example, have to amend the charges, and that would mean moving the matter from the lower court to the high court, then they'll do that. We can only speculate at the moment. And that is the farthest I would perhaps comment about that issue. The farthest I could go.
This particular court will conduct this.
Very well. It is the court order was obtained in a miscellaneous file. Miscellaneous files are special vehicle files. They have a lifetime, and once the purpose for which those files are opened is completed, then they are closed. Now, this particular file will be mentioned on the, I believe, 13th of January, 2026. In essence, the DCI have about 90 days from the date of the order to do their investigations and to report to court on the progress and the possible closure of that file. So,
it is indeed extremely deplorable that in Kenya today, a few fish like this are held with more regard, are more valuable to our security agencies than human beings. Brian Odhiambo lost his life because of a few fish like this, and he is no more. His life snatched away. His family searching until today because of a few fish like this. They say a society is not judged by how it treats the powerful, the politically correct, and the mighty. But a society is judged by how it treats the weak amongst them, the poor amongst them, and the vulnerable amongst them. If Kenya today is to be judged by the case of Brian Odhiambo, then Kenya is a rotten society. If our security agencies today were to be judged by how they have treated the case of Brian Odhiambo, then the security agencies are a rotten security agency. And we are saying, as a community, as a people, as Kenyans, we will continue to stand together until justice is done for Brian Odhiambo. And to stand together to support the sentiments of counsel who has spoken here before me. We are appealing to anyone out there who has information that could help us in unraveling the case of Brian Odhiambo. Please come forward. We know some people may be scared right now. We know there are people out there who can help us crack this case, but we need you to come forward and we will ensure that you are protected. So anyone who has information, please reach out to us, please reach out to Wakili, and we assure you that you will be safe and no harm will come to you, but you will help us unravel this case. Thank you very much, and we welcome Wakili to read the statement.